you're only as good as your leaders, right? Mm-hmm. So it's hard to be the individual leader. Like I know I learned a long time ago, I'm not Superman. Like I can do it by myself, but it's very selfish to do it by myself. And I'm probably going to F up in some way, shape or form along the way. Then it's literally all on me. Whereas if those issues are popping up, like you're saying, you can reach out to the agents. You can reach out to me. You can technically call Edgar if you wanted to. You can call anybody. And in theory, we're going to help you the best that we can with whatever the situation.
Welcome to the Your Peak Life podcast. Let's conquer the summit of life and reach the apex of our potential.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition, another episode, another version of Your Peak Life podcast. DJ Julian Rivera here, Edgar the Sphere Munoz. I'll explain that in a minute, but it's not about us. It's not about your Hispanic brothers that are on this show. It's about you guys tuning in and understanding who we bring on the show and why we're doing this. It's more so to not just educate and entertain you, but really to see that there's a lot of other people out there that have probably some comparable stories that you can relate to. And today, we have one of my favorite people here. Reena Patel is in the house, and she is literally right there. Say hi.
Hello.
Reena, what's going on? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Super duper. I like the fit today. You know, you're matching. You're looking good.
Thank you.
You ready to go?
Appreciate that.
I know.
Hold on, Rena. You're Hispanic?
No.
Just because I don't speak Spanish doesn't mean I'm not Spanish, okay?
Just wanted to clarify that.
I'm Virginia Rican. All right. That's what it is.
All right, but how you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Go ahead.
I am not Hispanic. Everyone thinks I am, though.
You can pass. I see why. Yes. But you are local, though.
I am a true local.
Yes. So
born and raised.
Born here. And what high school?
Norfolk Collegiate.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you went and graduated. Excuse me. You went on to college, right?
I did. I went to Virginia Commonwealth University, so I didn't leave to go far away.
Okay.
And then I went to, back then it was called Medical College of Virginia.
Okay.
Did dental school. So I was in college for a very long time. And then ended up not using my degrees.
Wait, so are you a story of, you know what, I know what I'm going to do, and then you get there, it's like, I don't even want to do this anymore?
In all fairness, I did practice for a little bit.
Okay.
I did practice for a little bit. I quickly found out that 9 to 5 was not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was too mundane.
I heard that you get bored too easily. Is that right?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I need diversity in my life.
So your whole goal of going into that was to become a dentist, right? To become a doctor, right?
Yes.
Essentially. So then you achieved that, right?
I did.
That's a goal, right? You check that box off. And then how long after achieving that did you realize, you know what, this ain't what I want to do?
Probably after 3 years
Okay.
of the 9 to 5 grind.
3 years. So you at least
wow.
I mean, you gave it a few years after a lot longer to get there and to get to that point. It took you 3 years, 36 months to be like, you know what, I'm out.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
Okay.
I like to vacation,
Right.
travel, and golf.
Okay.
And, do all the things. So that was not the life for me.
Got you. Okay. So then that happens.
Yes.
What's next? Like that's a big, like, outside of the financial obligation of getting that, regardless who paid it, the time and effort put into becoming that, that's a big cap, like big feather in your cap. I'm a dentist. I'm good. So now, like, what happened next?
I am very blessed that my parents are in they're business owners.
Okay.
So I kind of followed their footsteps. Actually, it's their fault that I realized that the 9 to 5 was not for me because they don't work a 9 to 5.
Ah, gotcha.
And they had a lot of flexibility. And so I was like, that's the life I want. I wanted to be able to be my own boss and do my own thing and work my own hours. And so I inherited some of the businesses from them.
Okay.
And then slowly got into real estate.
By accident.
By accident.
See, that's the funny part. So there's so many ways that, sometimes you just get in the room and you just never know what the next opportunity is. The acronym NO is next opportunity. I say that a lot. So you got into some room somewhere that was like, you know what? I could probably do that. What was that?
I had a girlfriend who was in real estate.
Okay.
And it was a very, very small mom and pop company that's not even around today.
Okay.
She was like, come visit my office. We're a lot of fun. We like to party and, it's not like your typical office. So I said, okay, I had nothing else going on that day.
Right.
So I went with her and all her coworkers were really nice and it was fun. And I was like, thinking in the back of my head, I could probably do real estate because I've got a good background in it. That day, the broker offered to pay for my class and the testing and the license and all the good stuff. And so I said, why not?
Sure.
So I studied for a day, took it. And
yes, it wasn't like a dental school.
No, it was nothing like dental school. I literally ran up to Richmond. I did an all-nighter
Yep.
and took the PSI at 8 a.m. the next morning.
Wow.
I didn't take the class. I did the online thing where you just let it run.
Yeah,
You just
you
let it
gotta do
run
the
and
time.
like focus for like a whole 24 hours.
Yep. Well, not
Gotcha.
even 24. I just did an all-nighter.
Okay.
And then took the test the next morning. Passed. Got my real estate license.
You passed the first time?
Yeah.
Good for you. All right.
I started working at that company.
Nice.
The company lasted about a year, and then it went belly up.
Okay.
And so I ended up moving to a different company. And the second company I was at, I really picked up on real estate. I was in the top 500. I was in the top 1%. So for a newer agent, pretty good numbers. And I was like, this is kind of fun. I'm really liking this. And then I've just continued since, while also doing my businesses on the side.
So then now you've been in the game for how many years?
10.
10 years. So you got a full decade in this game, right?
Yes.
And you were in dentistry for how many years? Including school. Including school, yeah.
11.
11 years.
Jeez.
All right. So you have two different lives, right, in theory that you've experienced, right? So do you regret the decision of saying bye to those 11 years and going into real estate?
No.
Good answer.
I will never, ever, ever go back to a 9 to 5. If I want to take off on a Tuesday to go golfing, I can take off on a Tuesday. I can just tell all my clients and nothing happens. I can bring my iPad with me.
Yeah.
And life continues. And I get to enjoy the weather and hang out with my husband and go golfing.
You know, the ironic thing is that you gave up the 9 to 5 to work 24/7. You know that. In theory, right?
But it's around my own schedule still.
It still is. That's the good part about it. I mean, and some days are better than others. We all know.
Correct.
Like, there's
Yeah.
definitely a lot of craziness that can happen in this industry. And I say that because we want to serve our clients to the best of our ability, right? Their schedule, we have to be available for them, not mostly physically, but to answer a call, to answer an email, to answer a text. So when I say that you give up your 9 to 5 to work 24/7, you can be golfing right now and have a call while the other person's golfing and be able to provide that service in this industry that's needed, because that's one of the beauties of being in business, right? At least in this specific business, that you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, I know you're wondering why I call him the Sphere, right?
There we go.
Uh-oh.
I mean, just look at his head. I mean, it's like, it looks like the one in Vegas, right?
We go back and forth on this all the time.
No.
It's
I just
like-
go, you just come at me and then I have to play defense. So I'm playing offense
have
today.
I said anything about
No.
this, right?
This-
All I asked is like, you're Hispanic?
You're
like,
talking,
that was a
you
serious
started
question.
it. No. You knew the answer, bro. Like, come on now. See, he always
And
starts
then, and then we go into like the Amazon rainforest. You know, look at that thing up there. Like,
he just mad 'cause I actually
like
have
imagine
hair.
like National Geographic just doing like that air zoom into the
The peaks and
Amazon.
valleys that we were
Oh,
talking
here we
about
go,
earlier.
Rena. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
I was gonna ask you this. So with all the golfing you're doing, Stephen Doe, Kyle Myers, have you played with those
I
guys?
have not gone with anybody yet.
Really?
I know. I didn't know all these people golfed until recently.
Yeah. So you got a whole crew here that does.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just got into it, like really into it about a year ago.
We need to start the pickleball club, the golfing club, shooting club.
Yeah, but who's gonna take lead on that?
Well, who's the golfers? Who's the
That's also
Edwin's
true.
pickleball.
Edwin's pickleball. That's the
I
answer
don't know
already.
golf.
Yeah.
I mean, Steven and Kyle, they're very
Yeah.
heavy at it.
That's true.
Shooting, I could do that.
There you go.
Get
All
some
right.
girls involved in golf. I would love that.
Yeah, we do. We have
Really?
a couple of. I know, obviously, you now. I know Betsy. I want to say Taylor plays with her husband, Beth, obviously.
Yeah, they got a few ladies that rock and roll. Got some ladies that do both. They're ambidextrous, pickleball and golf. They can do both, and they can do obviously more than just
Yeah,
that.
Doe mainly stops playing pickleball when we start whooping him, and he's like reverts back to golf.
Remember that, Stephen, when you hear
Yeah,
this. All right.
remember, it's a true story.
But we like to have fun here, right? At the end of the day, it's it's not just all business. I'm sure you like to have fun. Like on your free time, when you have that flexibility, not the 9 to 5 anymore, you like to travel. Like you like,
Yes, we do travel quite a bit.
right?
That's the other reason why I like real estate.
Yeah.
Because you can, I've got great friends in the industry here at Iron Valley that if I'm gone will help me out, that I trust, and vice versa. When they're gone, I watch over their stuff. So it actually works out really well.
That's great.
Yeah,
What's
it's huge.
What's next on the itinerary?
I'm leaving to go next weekend to Dallas. So two of my kids live in Dallas.
Okay.
So Eric and I are going to go there next week. We go there almost every 3 weeks.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna get back with you. I might be going to Dallas in September, so
Let me know the weekend that you're there, because I will definitely be there in
Yep.
September.
Yep. We'll be there.
I love it out there. I don't know if you've spent much time out there.
I've only been
It's
there
nice.
once for a Dallas game. I'm a 49er fan, so I went
Okay.
there for a Dallas 49er game.
Sorry.
That's the extent of my experience out there. And other than that, I visited Houston a lot more.
Okay.
I love Houston, but whatever. I'm here.
So, like, when you're searching on the MLS and you can put like locations and like specific things like garages and everything, do you know that you can't choose a cul-de-sac? Because if you could, probably both of his would pop up on the MLS because you can see he's bald, but he still has the cul-de-sacs right there. Just want to make sure that we're aware of
thinking
that.
about
Okay?
this for like 5 minutes.
I mean, it's always the callbacks. That's the best kind of
So-
jokes. You're welcome. So back
so
to you.
the reason that thought took forever because his forehead is so big.
Oh my
Like
gosh,
his
you
thoughts have
guys.
GPS to get out of there. So that's why it took like 5 minutes for that thing to come out.
He canceled his trip to Turkey to get hair implants, and I don't know why he did that because he actually probably would look better with that. But it's
Turkey
okay.
is the place to go.
I've been seeing them on TikTok for one reason or the other.
They're targeting
Well,
you.
I know a lot of Indians that have gone there.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, it's a thing.
Have you traveled there?
I have
On that side of the
not.
world?
I have been to that side of the world.
Okay.
I haven't been to Turkey specifically though.
Got you.
Yeah.
So if you could say like your top 3 places you can travel to for the rest of your life, you can't go anywhere else, but those 3
Yeah.
outside of Virginia Beach and Dallas, where would it be?
India,
Okay.
obviously.
Yep.
I don't know what 2 and 3 would be because I like to every time I travel I pick a new place. I don't
Right.
like to go to the same place over
Got
and
it.
over
Fair.
and over.
That's a good
unless
answer.
it's India.
Right.
So India, where? I've only been to Chennai.
Okay, so my family is actually from Gujarat, and we have a house there.
Okay.
And with that comes, you get a driver, you get a chef,
Yeah.
you have all the things.
I always tell the story when we landed in Chennai and we were trying to get to our hotel room. It was like a 45-minute drive, and we felt bad for the guy, because it took forever, and we gave him $20 because it was gonna be like $1.
Is our currency, stupid question, but I got to ask, do we kill it over there
It was like-
currency-wise?
it was
Exchange
like-
rates?
Kill it is an understatement.
I want to
Really?
say our exchange rate when I went, it was $48 to their one.
Oh.
Dinars, not
Rupees.
dinars, rubies.
Okay.
The guy was so happy. He's like, I'll be here. He waited that day.
Wow.
He was there the next day every morning waiting for us to come out
Yeah.
to be our private chauffeur. And we gave him another $20 to just leave us alone. Like, no, man, we want to ride the tuk-tuks. Like,
Right,
we
right.
don't want the regular cab.
So then, all right, so it's the exchange rate's dope over there. So the best one I've experienced is when I go to the Philippines. It's very comparable. They have pesos out there. It's not Mexican pesos, it's their own pesos.
Yep.
And it's comparable, right? I don't
Right.
know which one's stronger or not, but it has to be very, very comparable. But knowing that when you go there, how much money do you really think you would need to bring, worst case scenario, just American, just to have a good trip?
I
Like
converted
worst case.
Not a lot.
That's what I'm thinking, right?
$300, I think, was like 10,000 of their dollars.
And then, all right, so let's say I need to go to a meal, right? I've never been there before. So I want to go out and just eat just a normal meal. Let's just say it's an Applebee's. I'm making this up. How much in that currency is it going to cost?
Less than $5.
Damn. Okay.
Full meal.
That's-
I mean, you
been a
can have
drink.
a 5-star meal for like $5.
Yeah.
okay. Now, do
Yeah.
you need to know people there, or can the Americans go there and do the same thing?
Oh yeah. Well, if an American goes there, I would recommend going on a tour
Okay.
because not a lot of people speak the language and it's utter chaos.
Do you speak the language?
I do.
You do?
I do.
You're fluent?
Yes.
Good. I didn't know that. All right. That's something new. Say something that we like, something silly. Say hello.
The main language
Yeah.
in India, it's complicated, is Hindi.
Hindi. Okay.
There's 1 million dialects out there.
Okay.
Our dialect is Gujarati.
All right.
So that's what I speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you went to another place that had a different dialect, you would be basically talking.
It's very different.
Okay.
But
It's
the
good to
main
know.
language is Hindi. So I can still understand Hindi.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I can't speak Hindi fluently though.
I don't know because Hinduism or whatever it was over there, but I remember going to a club
Yeah.
downtown, and this was when I was in the military, and we walk in there, and it was the male side, there was a glass wall, and the women were on that side.
Really?
Which was a trip. And the guy with money, of course, he could have his women there, but that was a trip.
Yeah, it's still like that. When you go to certain events, like when you go to temple or things like that, they'll still separate males and females.
Yeah.
It's very
cool
traditional.
place. I was out walking on the street betting on mongoose cobra fights.
That's funny.
Praying mantis fights, like everything fights, just out on the street, just betting.
So you're Michael Vicking it out there. I see what you're doing.
Yeah,
All right.
but
Good for you.
it was exactly to her point. It's like, so if anybody's ever been to Tijuana, Mexico, there's like no rules almost when you're out there driving. A little bit of chaos.
Okay.
But India was a different level. You don't.
Complete chaos.
Oh, yeah.
Like full self-driving Teslas would not work out there.
No.
No.
That's how I feel about the Philippines. It just won't work. Yeah.
No, absolutely
Yeah.
not.
There's no street lights. There's no street signs. There's
Yeah.
no rules. There's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll
But
drive
they
into
somehow
opposite
figure it out.
lane. Yeah, you figure out whole families on the bikes with like more like a moped,
Right.
But like family of 5 all
Going
riding
through traffic and stuff too. Yeah.
crazy.
Yes.
But it's so fun over there.
I believe it. It's a
Yeah.
blast. And then when you
Yeah.
go there, you can't go for less than 2-3 weeks, right? Like you
No.
got to be there for a
Oh.
while.
Yeah, my parents usually go every winter for the whole winter.
Okay. Nice.
See, I'm guessing like you, like they already know. Like me, when I go to Mexico, I don't blend in, obviously, right? I'm just American. Same thing for
Same.
you. Yeah. And every time I walked into a bar or restaurant out there, at that time, this was maybe, but they would put on the Doggy Style album or the Dr. Dre album. It would always
That's funny.
1, 2, 3 into the bar. Every time we walked into a bar.
That makes sense. They're trying to appease you to spend more money, sir.
Yeah. It was like that was the only album they had
Right. That's
everywhere.
funny. But now, it's when you've gone there, you've traveled, you've literally hit a bunch of different peaks in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you are been in real estate for 10 years. You've been to a few different brokerages.
Mm-hmm.
You've made a transition over to Iron Valley in 2024. What was your reasoning of making a shift now to start achieving a new peak in your real estate career?
So I just recently got married.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Shout out to Eric.
So for the past couple years, we were kind of living our honeymoon life. We were traveling a lot, and it wasn't working. Marriage is over. We bought a house. We're settled in. Kids are out of the house. I'm bored again. So here we are. So I'm back to picking up real estate again.
Right.
And I want to crush it like I did before when I was in the top 1%. So that's the goal.
Okay. Nice.
So do you feel, and not trying to say names or anything specific, but the area, the energy, the people that you're around at that time, do you feel that you needed a fresh start so you can get to that? Or did you feel like a new change of scenery? Or
100%.
what,
I definitely needed a fresh start, new scenery. Switching over to Iron Valley truly was a blessing because the vibe, the energy, I love you and LJ and Steven and Kyle. I mean, I feel like you guys truly, out of all the brokerages I've been at, you guys are the ones that really genuinely have our back
That's nice
and want
to
us
say.
to succeed.
That's good to hear.
Checks in the mail, by the way. I appreciate you saying that. But,
No, I'm being very honest.
but we do. I mean, because we're still in the trenches with you. We're out there. We're still
Yep.
grinding. We're still doing what we can do. But we want to see everyone win because it's the same thing we say with our clients, right? If the clients win, we win by default. The same thing with the agents, with the people on
Correct.
the squad. If they win, we win by default. And it's not just financial compensation. It's many different ways that we can feel that
it's-
we're winning.
Friendships, it's
Yes.
relationships, it's all of that. It's not just, you're right, it's not just the business backing. It is, when I go out and see you at the ODU football games and you gave me a shout out, Eric, like my stepdaughter was with us that day. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, how cool is that?"
That's cool.
So even little things like that, with the camaraderie,
Yeah.
it all goes hand in hand.
It really does. And that's what, when you're getting into, you're a businesswoman. So like when you get into business, there's no guarantee the business is going to win. That's in general, right? That's entrepreneurship. So when you're getting into something new, it's always like, you always put your best foot forward because you just want to kill it in some way, shape, or form. And even though you've been in the game for a while, when you change the scenery, it's like, all right, starting over, time to kill it. And it was very comparable to where I was at before. And I love where I was at before. There was nothing wrong. But I just felt the complacency internally with me, like, I'm number one every month. I'm doing this. I'm happy. Like a first world problem, champagne problem. But I'm like, I want to keep going. I want to keep growing and growing. Now when I'm here, I'm like, I'm in the top 25. I'm like, I'm not number one. I'm like, I got some work to do. I like that because then everyone else here, they're here. I can call them if I really wanted to and get some game from them and vice versa. Mm-hmm. Like that is really, really cool that we're in a position and an environment, more importantly, where that energy is not just contagious, but you're in a willingness environment of they can help you if you really need the help.
That's actually a good point. Even though I've been in real estate for 10 years, I still have questions.
Yeah.
And still can, plenty of room for improvement. And everybody is so willing to share what has made them successful. A lot of people don't like to share that.
Right.
They like to keep a little secret.
Yeah.
which is unfortunate. But at Iron Valley, I feel like everyone's an open book.
I mean, yeah, they are. And I got to give, again, to circle back a game recognized game with Edgar, Eric, Mike, and Edwin, because people don't know him as June. They know him as Pitbull. They created a culture and a camaraderie here. I got to give credit. Mike and Eric were the visionaries. Edgar and Edwin came in and just helped grow in a drastic rate, but in the more kind of remixing their vision. And then now we're coming in here to just kind of help scale and kind of put the wheels in our car, but see if other lanes can help grow in that way as well. And that right there is in Jama down in Carolina, murdering it and doing what she needs to do in technically a different market, but it's 30 minutes down the road,
Right.
in a way that we can, one, make sure that we are empowering women and entrepreneurs, but two, she's part of the squad. And like, she's one of the guys, to be fair. She drives a bigger truck than I do. Let's just say that. So she's a beast, but it's cool to see those 9 different walks of life where they've all came from now and how they can all help in one way, shape, or another. Because that right there, you're only as good as your leaders, right? Mm-hmm. So it's hard to be the individual leader. Like, I know I learned a long time ago, I'm not Superman. Like, I can do it by myself, but it's very selfish to do it by myself, and I'm probably gonna F up in some way, shape, or form along the way. Then it's literally all on me. Whereas if those issues are popping up, like you're saying, you can reach out to the agent. You can reach out to me. You can technically call Edgar if you wanted to. You can call anybody, and in theory, we're going to help you the best that we can with whatever the situation.
Yeah, sometimes it's not more money; it's just more people to get to those goals.
It's the other thing is everybody here is so family oriented.
Yeah,
and I absolutely love that.
Oh yeah, that's priority, especially with me. Everybody. I go when Julian doesn't make it to watch his kids play at band. I'm there for him. They know I'm there to step in.
That was a stab and a twist, by the way. The one time I'm not there, he happens to be there.
And I was up there with my papa. Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, but definitely, we encourage everybody because, if your house is a mess, how are you going to be able to be successful in business? Or you're going to see, business is great, but that's where those divorces happen or, the family troubles at home. Keep it tight. But I would say a lot of the events that even with Julian has added to it tremendously was, the military kids event, the veteran suicide event, we just had the Easter egg hunt, for Eliza Hope Foundation. We involved the kids in all those events. It's not like adults only, right?
I love that.
And I think now we have a bunch of other characters here at Iron Valley where they're vested with the community. Obviously you're leading the charge, I would say, for the government side. Right. For the city of Virginia Beach, you're involved in it. And then Mike's doing the mentoring. I'm doing mentoring now. And just agents everywhere are involved somewhere throughout just the community with the cities. And then your children see that, right? And it's just like, you're just going to create a better product here. And then we were rated, number 1 now for city of Virginia Beach?
Yep.
Although you live in Chesapeake, right?
No, I live in Virginia Beach. Thank you very much.
Right in the corner.
Right there. I'm a beach kid to the core. Don't try. I live 7 minutes from you, okay? Hence why you can go to my daughter's thing and talk shit, because we're in the same school district, okay?
But no, growing, you definitely got to be involved with the kids. They got to be, we got to improve the city in every aspect. They are the future. If they stick around.
That is one of the things.
They're in Dallas now.
Yeah.
But that's what I've said this before. For me, my number 1 priority is my wife, because the kids may grow up, get married, move out of this area, but I know I've left some productive human beings to lead the charge somewhere else, which I could be proud of.
Have you lived anywhere else other than here?
I have.
Where have you lived?
Richmond for school.
Okay.
And then Austin, Texas, and Tennessee. I lived in Nashville.
So you've got to live, so born and raised, obviously, but then you got to explore and live.
Correct.
Traveling is one thing, but planning routes someplace for a long period of time is another. I've actually never been able to do that. I've always wanted to, but I just never did it. Now I'm just a traveling guy, right? But you're not from here. You were born in Cali. You were in the military, so you got to travel a lot. Yeah. You did live though in Japan for a few years, which is dope. I love that, by the way. But you got to experience a lot of different places. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because something outside of family brought you back to stay here in Virginia Beach.
Oh,
or in Hampton Roads, excuse me.
Well, family and business was
With the primary focus.
the biggest reasons.
Okay.
However, I mean, there's so many benefits to being in this area.
Yeah.
You've got the beach. You do have mountains a couple hours away. They're
Sure.
not like California, but we do have some mountains.
No, you got
We get
mountains.
4 seasons and they're mild.
Yes, that's true.
You know,
Yeah, entertainment.
an airport that's easy to get in and out of.
Right.
And you're not waiting.
Not
for
a ton of
hours.
traffic there.
Yeah,
That's
I
true.
mean,
There
and it's
is no
great
real
for
traffic
families.
here.
It is good for families. It's actually
great for
ranked one of the,
families.
and I love this. I'm not trying to skew the system, and I don't know who actually put these stats out there, but they say we're one of the, Virginia Beach specifically, not Hampton Roads, was one of the top 20 places to raise a family in the country, or something, maybe top 10, top 25, something like that. Knowing that and being all family oriented, I can see why. I can't speak to it knowledgeably because I didn't live anywhere else, right? So all of you lived somewhere else. Would you agree, out of all the places that you've lived, that there's, out of all the places, you would not want to raise your family anywhere else but here?
Yes.
I would.
I mean,
yeah.
I came back here.
Okay.
That's the reason. That's the reason me and my wife stayed here.
Okay.
Like that was the number one reason.
You broke the chair?
Was school. Yep.
Okay.
We looked to go back to California, and then we were like, school system,
Yeah.
they got to go into private schools. That's a lot more money,
Right.
and it's just a better product over here.
Yeah, it is. It's like that little hidden area. I mean, I don't know how much hidden it's going to be anymore because I know this for a fact. Hampton Roads is one of the top 25 hottest real estate markets in the country. So when we hear all this noise out there of people going down or losing value or whatever, I mean, that's noise. I'm not saying it's false, but it's not hitting us here. I mean, we're the slow and steady market. That's the one thing that has always been at. Everyone during COVID went up 10, 12% for those 2-3 years, but we're not going backwards, man. It's just because there's so many people that want to come here right now. Military aside, everything else is just we don't have enough room. That's just what it is. So I don't ever see, knock on wood, this market going backwards. That's why I'm such an advocate. I'm purchasing so much real estate in this market and just hold. Like you own a house now, right?
Yes.
And you've owned houses before the one that you just purchased, right?
Yes. And I have some rentals too.
That was my next thing. So then from a rental perspective, are they all in the specific areas or just in Hampton Roads?
Hampton Roads.
Okay, so in Hampton Roads, you're actively working on that, and you obviously have some too, and I do as
Yeah.
well, plenty. And I'm not going to stop. The goal is to continue to do it.
Yeah, and it's like have one in Portsmouth, Virginia Beach, and then I'm actively searching towards Suffolk. And I bring this up because I saw it happen already in Los Angeles,
Right.
where everybody started moving inland, buying houses out there because they got priced out, and so the masses start moving that way. And that's the same thing I'm seeing here now with everybody's moving to Suffolk and Isle of Wight and Carrollton or whatever, way over there, and they're taking the drive to work or the shipyards.
Yep.
Well, Chesapeake used to be the cheaper. If you couldn't afford Virginia Beach, people
Yeah.
were buying in Chesapeake. Well, now that's
It's
done.
past that.
Yeah, it's true.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was Los Angeles, then it was San Gabriel Valley, and then it was Riverside, San Bernardino area, and that happened, and I'm seeing the same thing here, and it was the same thing in San Diego. From San Diego, it was everybody's moving inland or going north towards Temecula and taking the 40-minute trip back and forth to work.
Because it's cheaper to pay for the gas or the electricity than to actually buy the property,
Yep.
pay your taxes, pay whatever the hell. Isn't that ironic? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not. It's just, that's real estate. That's just what it is. Everyone wants to be in this area, and then you have the
And
outskirts.
they want the nice house. They
Same
don't
thing
want
with
to sell.
Atlanta. Atlanta, you have the whole highway around Atlanta, and then you have the outskirts, and you got to be at a certain price point, unfortunately, to get there. But that's another thing too. I mean, you wouldn't want to. No shade to LA, no shade to anywhere else, but you wouldn't want to raise your family in that city based on what you know, because you live there and you've seen and lived that, right? Based on where you've lived, you would want them to live here and or where they're at least currently living because you feel that they're safe, but this would be your first choice.
Correct.
Right? Because we've experienced, I say the same thing. I'm biased because I've lived here my whole life, same with my wife, Myra, but I can't see us living anywhere else. Now, does that mean that they're sheltered and they're not going to see all this other shit out there? No. They're going to want to live and travel. I'm sure they will, especially if we're providing the way that we currently are and not going to stop. But from a safety perspective, I don't think you can't put a price on that, bro. Like, even the hoodest hood out here is not compared to where you were from.
No, it's not.
Not even close. It's not even,
No, when my family comes and visit, and it's like the first thing they say is like, "There's no tagging. Like, there's no tagging.
Oh, like
on the
graffiti
walls
everywhere?
Graffiti everywhere.
No, that's called street art. Actually, they
that-
were
actually,
allowed to do
that's
that.
real street art out here. Like, and I was like, no, gangs. It's not a thing like Los Angeles. But back to you. You've been married since July.
Since July.
Got married.
Okay,
Yeah.
how long were you guys together before you got married?
2 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
Military too, by the way.
Yes.
yeah, we were talking
Yeah.
before the show because you were late, and then she was telling me you guys did like a 6-month like transaction.
Oh yeah,
That's how you guys
that's how we
met?
met.
That's
Yes,
what I was telling him.
that's how we met. Yeah, tell. Let's hear your side of that story because that actually is really
Who was
dope.
listing? Who was buy side?
I was listing.
Yes.
Julian was buy side. It was an easy transaction.
It was.
Yeah, it was in downtown Norfolk. It was a young kid who I had sold a house to 4 years ago. He was starting medical school
Okay.
at EVMS, and his 4 years had already passed very quickly, and he was ready. He was going to do his residency up in Maryland. So he was ready to sell. So I listed it. Julian brought me actually, Julian didn't even bring me a buyer. Let me just say that. I did an open house, and his buyers walked in.
Ah, gotcha.
And then I get a call the next day from Julian saying, hey, my buyers want to write an offer on this house.
Okay.
They're very proactive clients, to say the least. We've been looking
yeah.
at that area forever, and it's like, hey, yeah, we went to this open house. I'm like, okay, great. Glad I had a buyer broker ready. Mind you, they've bought and sold many a times before. The reason why it took so long, though, and thank God for her patience on this, they were supposed to sell a house to buy the house. It was going to be cash, right?
Okay.
And that was the intention to this day, and they were good for it. Like, they're very good for it. But it just took forever because it was on a peninsula. It was a different agent. I wasn't handling that sale, so that's the only problem. The guy I was doing it, he's a beast. He's a top 50 agent in the market. But anyways, it just took forever. So then when it came down to it, we had to get extension, and then it came down to, you know what? He figured something else out, did it, and to be fair, the house still isn't sold.
Really?
Yeah.
And during this
Wow.
entire time, actually, Julie and I became very close because
Yeah.
I was also planning my wedding
Yeah.
during this entire time. So I really didn't even have time
Did you
to
pitch
real
the
estate.
DJ? How DJ?
She already had him covered. So
Yeah.
at the
But-
time. But I was too late. But we didn't meet. She already had it covered. She got, yeah.
So he heard all about my wedding details
Yep.
and
Okay.
the whole 9 yards. So we honestly ended up becoming friends
Yeah.
before I even joined Iron Valley.
Yep.
Gotcha.
That was probably like the best experience I've had with a listing agent ever because, I mean,
And it's an extension after extension, no emotions involved. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Because by then, people start getting upset.
I got to give credit to her buyer for, she directed the traffic really well, but he was willing to do it. And in a continuing offer at that time, it was,
Well,
Yeah.
a
Was
lot
this
of
last
calming
year
him
or
down,
the-
too.
yeah, that's true. That's what I give him credit to you. And then, yeah, that's true.
What year was this?
This is last year.
Oh, okay.
We went under contract, I think, in June, maybe.
Yep. And we didn't close
And
to
we didn't close until like October.
yeah.
We didn't close until I came to Iron Valley, I think.
Yeah, because that was one of the things we were waiting on to happen. We were waiting for that to close so you could come over once you made your mind up.
Correct.
Yes, I do recall that. And then she didn't want to go like
Damn.
crazy ham into real estate till two things. So the marriage was done and then the purchase of the house was done, which now those are both, behind her and they're awesome memories. So hence why in 2025, she's just like in grind mode. Rena's just like
Yeah,
ready to
so I
go.
looked at the price points for her sales. I was like, oh, nice. I was like, those look nice.
Rena has friends.
Yeah, obviously the net worth.
Yes.
Gotcha.
But now you're here, it's 2025. What are your goals the next 3 to 5 years for, just Rena in general?
Rena in general,
That's including real estate,
Yeah.
business, and everything else.
well, because I took off so much time in life, past couple years, enjoying life with Eric, I'd like to get back to, obviously building up my real estate game back again, getting my health back again because I haven't worked out in probably like 2 years.
Shut the front door.
Now I'm being serious.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, I haven't worked out in 2 years.
You were telling me that you were like going super ham for the wedding, just like every bride does.
Yes.
So that was not 2 years ago.
Well, I went ham for like 4 months
Okay.
just to lose a bunch of weight.
Well,
Probably wasn't the healthiest way to do it.
She's
It
like
definitely
fasting
wasn't the
for like
healthiest
30
way to
days.
do it. Yes.
okay, fair. It happens.
And I was like cardio bunny on the treadmill
Got
like,
it, okay.
constantly. Since my wedding, though, I've already put on 10 pounds. So I need to get back into the gym so I can live, a healthier lifestyle.
Understood.
And then I want to get better in golf. I want to be able to travel more. Life is good right now.
That's good.
Yeah, I can't complain. Life has fallen into place finally.
After working on it for years to get to that
Yes,
spot, which is,
yeah.
it doesn't happen overnight. People see the overnight success is seeing that one day, but they don't see the past 3 years that it took you to get there.
More than 3.
Right.
10 years.
See what I'm saying?
More than that.
So now, like, you're here, and then you mentioned other businesses earlier. Are we in a position where we can talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay, what
So-
other businesses? Because technically you do real estate part-time, mind you. Her part-time is full-time, just to be clear. But what other things are you affiliated with?
So my family owns Marriott's. So
Okay.
we are hoteliers.
Yep.
My brother, so it's just my brother and I. He fortunately handles the bulk of that. And I also have some tropical smoothies.
Okay.
So I handle that part. He handles the hotels. And then it still wasn't enough for me. So that's real estate. I had to, fill that void. But it's perfect because I can do as much as I want to, or I
Right.
can not do as much as I want to.
Right.
Which is the perfect career.
Yeah, that's true. You can turn it on and off and then still be able to go and do what you need to do. Plus, when it's on, technically, you don't ever need to turn it off because you have people here to help when
Correct.
it's on, right?
Correct.
So that's huge. That's a collaboration right there.
Absolutely.
So then are all of those local or are they across the country? The Marriotts at least?
Some of the Marriotts are cross country. Most are local.
Okay,
And the tropical smoothies are local.
got you. Cool, perfect. 'Cause I go to Tropical Smoothie literally every other day. I got to ask this and you can say yes or no. Do you happen to own the one in Kemps River?
No, I was about to tell you need to go to the one at Lynn Haven.
Lynn Haven.
Support me.
Which one in Lynn Haven?
Right by Lynn Haven Mall.
Got it. Okay, yep. All right.
Done.
Because when I either go to Iron Asylum or Planet Fitness, if I gotta go do cardio, I'm going to Planet Fitness because there's cardio everywhere. If I need to go strength training, I'm going to Iron Asylum. So I switch throughout the day. But I always go to that Tropical Smoothie that's right there. I was like, I hope that's Rena's because I get the same thing: peanut paradise, double whey, no sugar, no nothing in it. I already know.
That's what I get sometimes.
That's like my order.
The key is no sugar.
That's the key because they're already sweet.
Yeah.
You don't need any extra of that. And I have a sweet tooth too, so the fact that it's already
too.
sweet enough without having that extra 220 calories of sugar is very helpful.
Yeah.
Cool. So then the one off Lynn Haven, now I know which one to support. Easy day.
Or the one if you're in Norfolk off Tidewater.
Okay, off Tidewater. Got you. Okay.
You know where the Walmart and the Fuddruckers and
Yep.
And that we're right next to the ABC store.
Perfect. So they can get the liquor and pour it in the smoothie. You're not doing it because you don't have a license, but they can do it when they're outside the door. So whatever they do outside is there. Dope. Okay, cool. And then from just from a time perspective, right? Because I get this a lot, and they're like, gosh, I know you're so busy, so I thank you for your time, and I appreciate that. I'm like, guys, it's okay. Like, you don't need to lead with that. At the end of the day, we live and die by our calendars. All three of us here do. We have to. Business, family, etc. And even then, we're not perfect. Stuff happens. I had something happen this morning. I'm like, shit, I got to figure it out. But we figured it out, right? We play offense. We don't play defense. So when you get a client that comes to you, right, and let's just say they know you, okay? They know you. This is a SOI client. How do you manage that from A to Z, knowing that you're managing your other things in life? So the client still feels and knows, more importantly, that they're getting the best version of Reena for this purchase or sale of their property.
Truthfully, my clients don't know I wear a lot of hats.
Okay.
They probably would never be able to tell because I do give them all the attention, and they probably think that this is my primary job. I never let them know that I have all these other things going on.
Got it.
Yeah, because I don't ever want them to think that they're not a priority.
Right. Thank you for saying that, because that's really where I was getting at, because we know that there are our main priorities. It's not just it's what we chose, it's what we got licensed for. We're in it because we want to make sure that they're going to win. It's just a matter of how much, right? You do that so well because it's one thing to be public and to be private, right? But not everything needs to be public. Not everything needs to be private, especially in this industry, because they need to know who you are. That's how you're going to get business, right? We need to be public to a sense. But if you have XYZ happening in the background, you're doing a damn good job at that, because I never would have known that either based on the time that we've known each other and the performance I'm seeing you put forth.
Well, thank you.
And I'm serious when I say that.
We have solid people at the businesses to help out. Like you said earlier, you can't do everything on your own.
Right.
So you realize how important other people are in your life to help you out, to make everything flow easily.
Yeah.
If you treat them well, they will treat you well, and everybody benefits because, all the managers are benefiting, all the employees. It's a trickle down effect.
Yeah, it really is. You guys, you and your family and your team have, I don't want to say mastered, but you've developed a good art of the delegation to empower people on what they're good at and ensure that they're going to keep killing it in that way. And they get compensated not just financially, but in other ways, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They have to.
If they're successful, you're successful. Kind of like real estate.
That's the same thing.
If the agents are successful, guess what? They're going to tell all their other agent friends, and guess what? You're going to be successful.
That is very true.
Yeah, that's kind of what's been happening now, especially in my part of the business when it comes to that. It's just like organically my agents are out there promoting the brand, promoting us, and it's just referral after referral, just like any other client. You do good business, you make them the priority, and they're going to refer everybody to you. So that gets easier also.
What's been some real good tips and motivational either books, podcasts, things that you do on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis that keep Reena at the best level to perform?
I guess because I do so many other things, I truly don't have time. Like
Okay.
I literally live by my calendar. I'm very OCD and type A.
Okay.
So my drive is is what keeps me going.
Okay.
I always have to be busy. Otherwise, I'm not happy.
Okay.
I need something to get me out of bed every morning. I need to have a calendar. I need to have a schedule, even though it changes every day, which is great. I love that.
Yeah.
Because no day is the same.
That's true.
One day I might be doing hotel stuff. One day I might be, the next hour I'm doing tropical smoothie. Just this morning I was doing payroll for tropical smoothie, and then I was writing an addendum for real estate, and then it's all over but I like that.
Yeah.
Because it keeps me busy. It keeps my mind going. In my free time, as you know, I like to do travel, golf, or if I'm really just being lazy, I like to, Eric and I, we do like to watch sports, so we'll watch sports, but we'll pick one show, like a Netflix show or something like that, and we maybe do that once a week
Okay.
if we have time, and that's our downtime.
Gotcha.
But other than that, we are always, unfortunately, go, 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 go.
I mean, you said two things. You kind of like canceled out some things. You're like, I'm kind of boring, and then you're go, 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 go. I don't call that boring. Like,
Well, we have 4 kids.
Yes.
So that keeps us busy.
Yep.
Yeah.
My entire
Every third week they're in Dallas.
Yeah,
Like,
that.
Right.
My entire dad's side of the family lives in Hampton Roads.
Okay.
As I was telling you earlier, because I went to school here, all my friends are still here, and we all live. I probably have about 50 friends within a 2-mile radius of my house.
Wow.
So every day there's something going on.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's multiple things going on. So it's all about life work balance.
Whatever that is.
Yeah.
So controlled chaos is it could be Reena Controlled Chaos Patel.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's the middle name. I mean, that's mine too. So I get it.
Yes. You get it.
I can't just sit down and not do it. It's like, what do I do with my hands? I don't have, like, I sometimes feel guilty when I'm not doing something because I'm taking time for myself, which that's not a good thing to feel. And I think the older that I'm getting, I'm realizing that we do have to take that time, regardless what it is. Sitting in a room quiet, traveling. There's 1,000 different ways to look at it. So when we're talking about work-life balance, I feel like that's like a hidden myth that nobody can really ever master, but you can always work for that. Like practice makes perfect is what they say. I always say practice makes permanent, because the more you practice at something, the more permanent it'll be in a daily habit or a weekly
I think
habit.
you've mastered it.
No.
I would have never known when we did that first transaction, and I didn't really know you.
Yeah.
I would have never known that you had all those other things going on, because I would call you and we would talk about our transaction,
Right.
not knowing that Julian was starting a brokerage and had kids and had all these other things going on. Just like I said, my clients have no idea that I have all
Yep.
these other things going on,
Right.
because you handled it so well.
I think you and I have a lot of that in common because clients are first. Family first. My apologies.
Yes.
Clients are very, 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 very close second, because when I make a promise to something, and it's the same thing in the DJ world and the real estate world, I always use a lot of the same comparisons. If I'm putting my name on something, I got to go 110%. Like, I can't not go backwards in that. Like, if I do a lackluster performance, I'm not getting calls. If I do a lackluster transaction, they're not telling me I'm going to somebody else or giving me a referral. It's a lot of the same things. It's very contractual, very to the point. This is just a little bit more expensive and a lot more, can be a lot more detrimental if it doesn't go right. This can be too, because imagine your DJ for that day on your wedding played the wrong first dance. Or during the ceremony, you're walking out to your processional and the equipment just frizzes up.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 1,000 different little things that could happen in both sides that can mess everything up, and I'll tell you how not perfect I am, but this is what we do to make this make sense when shit happens. So a good friend of mine, they got married. We're at the golf club in Williamsburg. What is that called? Kingsmill, exactly. So we're at Kingsmill, dope wedding, about like 200 something people. Love these guys, great friends to this day. It's hot as hell. It's July, okay? So we're outside. People are waiting to go sit down because it's hot. You sit down for 2 minutes, you sweating already. It's that kind of day. So with me, I have my speaker and I have an iPad. This is just a regular ceremony and a wireless mic. The guy decided not to use the microphone. That's fine, because he actually projected very well, and it was very, very quiet that day. No wind, no nothing. Cool. So one less technical difficulty in my mind I got to worry about, but I still got to worry about the iPad and I got to work the speaker. So we're rocking and rolling. Ceremony. They walk down. Everything's good. Beautiful, right? Going through the ceremony, I'm good. Everything's great. That's the hard part. Right now, I just got to play the recessional song. Okay? Just married, give it up. My shit overheats. I'm talking about, must be, when your phone has been it's the iPad though.
Yeah.
Takes a few.
It takes a while, right?
Yeah.
It could be a minute, it could be an hour. It doesn't matter. I'm like, fuck, I don't have any other way to do this as a recessional. So now for not you, husband and wife, may kiss the bride. I run out there. I'm like, give it up. Let's start clapping. Like, I just start getting every hype, and I do it for like 3 minutes straight because I had nothing else to do. And the last thing I wanted to do is like have that memory come down. And they joke about that to this day because I turned something bad into something good on the fly. That's the only time that's, knock on wood, that's ever happened to me. But it was hot as hell. Like, I could never have predicted that to overheat in that short period of time. But that's, again, one of the 1,000 things can happen. Real estate. What if you check the wrong box and that messes up the time was of the essence for something else? And that just is a domino effect for other shit. That's why I always compare the entertainment world to the real estate world, because there's so many little things that can go wrong. And it's so important to work with somebody that knows what they're doing, and or at least is going to put their best foot forward. So if you're working on hotel stuff, tropical smoothie stuff, and then real estate stuff on one day, and it's as flawless as it can be, that's a round of applause, because that is literally mastering the art of controlled chaos for that day. And then there's a whole nother day.
Yes.
Because shit happens, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
But then it's owning up. And then do you got to run out there and clap and get everybody happy? Do you have to get on the phone and call these title companies, these repair companies, because oopsie, now we got to make it right? You know, that's really, I feel, is where the level of a great professional comes into place. And that's what you are. And you've done this for a while. So like being that great professional, you're now here at Iron Valley. You've made a switch. Do you feel a different Rena, like getting ready for the next few years, just with like an energy feel?
Definitely. And like I said before, with you and the energy that you and Steven and Kyle and LJ bring to the table is, I mean, it amplifies my energy. So it's a good thing.
We need to get her out with golfing with Steven and Kyle.
I mean, I feel she would whoop their ass, but I'd love to see that actually, which is really good. So then now, like, you got your friends now, like you got a few people that you know here at the brokerage. Like, what is the vibe knowing that you got a few of your, you know, friends that were friends prior to coming over here in the same room? Like, how's that going as of you guys being here for like, 6 months or so now?
Honestly, it's been great. Natalie, who he's probably referring to, her and I have been at the past 3, this will be the 3rd brokerage together now.
Okay.
She's the one who helps me out quite a bit. I help her out. And so, it's been great. I'm glad she came over as well, because it's nice to have somebody you can actually trust.
Yeah. Right. She'll be at the show soon. We're gonna get
She's
her on here
super
too.
happy with Iron Valley as well.
Good.
Both
That's
of us
good to hear.
do have 0 regrets.
And then too, one thing as well, like, we're not perfect. You know, we always want to take. I came to you on a few questions, like, what do you think? Like, what would you do in this scenario for X, Y, Z? And that's really again, we're not perfect. We're just always trying to get better on a daily basis. And I think that transparency on everybody, and not even just from an ownership standpoint, but people here knowing that I don't know everything, right? But we are definitely going to try. And then if we mess up, we'll make it right.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the whole point of us also traveling out of state and things
That
like
is very
that for
true.
the conferences. It's learning everything outside of this area and bringing it back home to our agents. And that's when I met you the first time, was at that shuffleboard thing.
Beachside Social.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
sure that's where I met you. You were there that day, right?
No.
That wasn't you?
I think I met you at it was a training.
Yeah.
I think I met you. You were sitting, it was a financial.
Yeah, because it's kind of tough, like, as so many agents are coming in on board. Because
Yeah.
before it would just me, the guys just meeting almost every single agent or doing a meeting with these agents before they came on board. Now these guys are having their own meetings, and I'm not meeting every
Right.
single agent that comes through the door. So it's like I'm taking it upon myself. Like, it's like, okay, now I got to really physically meet everybody. Because I used to.
Daily now that you guys are getting agents, I'm seeing. I mean, it's
Yeah.
great. How fast it's growing.
Well, even when I would see the flyer, I would, call and text everybody, which I stopped doing. And I kind of feel bad that I stopped doing it, but I need to get back to it.
Yeah.
It's
I
like,
never got the text.
I know you didn't. I'm telling you. I know you didn't.
You owe me a text.
Yeah. So it was just like, that's something I need to get or start doing again. Because every time I would see them recruiting, I would reach out and say, hey, how you doing? If they're not available, we're here also. Because that is the product that makes us us, is that we're available. We're always helping. The biggest secret is we have no secrets, right? It's on you to implement and execute whatever you wanted to learn, and we teach you. But we're not perfect, right? So
No, but you make a valid point, because I mean, yeah, we're growing, but it's quality over quantity, man. Like I can't even say how many times I've said no out of respect because I just don't feel it's going to match culture. Or if I have a question, I'm contacting the guys or the gals. I'm like, hey, what would you do? Or like, what would you do in this scenario? Because we wanted to make sure it's going to continue the energy that's going away, because energy is contagious both ways, good and
Absolutely.
bad. You know what I mean? So that right there is huge, and we respect individuals' opinions. Whether it's going to get used or not, we definitely respect it because we're thinking about it that way, outside of just making the presidential decision and deal with it. You know, that's what we'll not do. That's not what they ever did before I even got here. And we're going to always strive to make sure we always have that personal touch. That's the goal. It's a blessing to be where we're at. It's a blessing to see how we're going and where we're going, but we can't do it without individuals like yourself. Like, that's really the move. And you know that from being a business owner. You are only as good. The squad is only as good as the leader. And if the leader is not good, well, you can probably take a guess what's going to happen.
Yep.
Right? So we only want to always try to be good. And as good as we can possibly be, because we'll never be perfect. But we'll always try to be in some way, shape, or form. And like, he tries to be perfect when he shaves his head, but you see the cul-de-sac still. It is what it is. There's a thing called Nair you could use, but for men, by the way. They sell it at Food Lion. It's by our house. You should go there.
It's not working, Julian. It's receding, bro.
It's okay.
It's
Dude,
going
see,
away.
but I'm not going to go backwards. I will go to Turkey, and I will do that when the time is right.
I don't care.
It's cool, but I'm letting you know.
I don't care.
I mean, if his wife likes it, that's all that matters.
Yeah, we've been married for like 17
That's true. She does like it.
See, if she
like
might,
things like
She does
happy
like
wife,
that.
happy life.
That's true.
Yeah,
Myra loves this
like,
too. So it's
me
okay.
and Myra go out and we have ice cream. Like she goes out with us and gets ice cream without Julian. Like,
I don't ever remember that, actually.
yeah, she doesn't tell you, bro.
Okay,
You're good.
it's okay. I think that happened once. He likes to talk about the one things outside of not the other 99, but it's okay. I'll let him get those wins. Anyways,
No.
we like to end the episodes on just something that you either want to tell yourself this time next year, or just something that can help motivate the next person that's going to come to the show. And just from Reena, just talking. You don't have to even overthink it. Just like, what would you either tell yourself that, we'll go with that. What's Reena going to tell herself this time next year?
You did it, because I didn't do hardly any business for the past couple of years, and so here I am picking back up. So hopefully next year, this year I've accomplished everything I wanted to do. So next year at this time, I'm going to say, you did it.
So you reached that peak.
Yeah, because I'm going to.
You will. There's no doubt in my mind. I know you're going to. And then what's the next peak?
Just keep going. Keep going. Grow. I mean, I just have to stay busy like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like us.
Yes.
He stays busy too. I give him shit, but I love this guy. So
Yeah, stay busy. All right, Dallas every 3 weeks. I'll see you in September. I'll text you those dates.
Let me know, please.
and if he doesn't text you, let me know too, so I can.
No, I will. I will. I got to go through the roster.
September's the best time to go there too.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
It's
Why?
It'll still be hot.
hot. The heat. It's like you don't go to Vegas. I would say June through September still pretty hot, but
Damn, I'm gonna be there 3 days in August.
that's like the worst.
Yeah.
It's like quote me on this.
Okay.
It'll be like 103 degrees at like
Ooh.
3 in the morning when you're out and about.
Wonderful. Okay. Oh, we'll live with it.
Like,
So-
I'm gonna go walk at night. I'm gonna walk the strip at night.
Flights are
It's
booked.
Still 100 degrees.
It's all good. I'll live with
horrible.
it. I might be inside the entire
Yeah,
time.
yeah. Stay inside.
Or inside a pool.
But go ahead.
Anyways, no, that's all we got, man. Reena, thank you
Thank you
for being
guys.
on the show today. And Edgar, as always, I appreciate you setting everything up.
Yeah.
And
no problem.
being on time. You know,
Thank you.
that's a wish. Make sure you subscribe. Your Peak Life Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. We're going to get better at that throughout the show to remind you that is important to do as we decide to continue to grow this, because it looks like it's going to continue to grow while we have awesome people like Reena and Edgar being on this show with his sphere. Okay? Talk to you soon. See you next time.
Take it easy.
Bye.